Nicqie Robinson quotes the following Bible verse on her website homepage. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Proverbs 31:25. She further quotes that a woman without a vision of a future will always return to her past. I want her to share her inspirational story of braveness, leaping into being an entrepreneur without a safety net, and how she plans for the future. Nicqie, welcome to the Strategy Maker podcast. It's such a pleasure to talk to you today.
Hello, beautiful Yoni. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to have this session with you.
I feel we have so much in common. We're both Northern Cape girls, so we understand what it is to live in the Northern Cape with endurance and what it brings to life. But we also are creatives and we like beautiful things in life. So I want us to dive in immediately and let's start at the beginning. Who is Nicqie Robinson? Nicqie, the one with the unique spelling of her name.
Nicqie Robinson was born in Mariental, Namibia. But ever since I can remember, I have lived in Kimberley, in the part of South Africa, in the middle of South Africa. So after my high school years, I studied in Bloemfontein, BA Consumer Science. But even being in high school, I've always had a passion to dress different body shapes, different face shapes. It was always an interest of mine, but I didn't know that you can actually create a career out of it. So way back then, there weren't no Google or internet. So I would go to the library and I would take out stacks and stacks of books with the topics of how to dress and what color suits what persons and all that information. And I would make copies and I would highlight and I would educate myself in this specific area. But like I said, I didn't know that you can actually have a career in this industry. So when I went to study, I did BA Consumer Science with the idea to become a buyer for Puccini or Truworths or some other fashion industry in that realm. And I always said, I'm not going to come back and live in Kimberley. I'm going to move away. But yeah, like
famous last words.
Yes. So while I was studying, I met a guy, and that guy became my fiance. And after my studies, we got married. And then I knew I had to come back to Kimberley. So for a backup plan, I did my education, but be in horse. That was the qualification. That was that name way back then. I'm not sure what they call it nowadays. But so I did that year, and I came back to Kimberley. And for 10 years, I was in my backup plan as a teacher, but not just a high school teacher, a teacher for special needs kids, for alcohol syndrome children, which was quite a challenge. But I'm glad for that, because in those years, I really grow in all different areas.
I can imagine working with special needs children is obviously especially if you're not a mom yourself yet, if you're a young female adult and you need to teach them, and you cannot not grow in that environment. So well done for you. And living the backup plan obviously takes some energy, because there comes a time that you know that you're not in the right space for your personality and what you were placed on this earth for, and that drains your energy. Then came a time that you realized that this is not really your space to operate or function in. Tell us about that moment that you knew you needed to make the change.
For the first 5 years being a teacher, we struggled to get pregnant. So for that 5 years, I could live out my mother heart towards the children. I was really giving everything that I had, just loving them, giving them presents, and each one's birthday I made a big fuss about. But after the 5 years, we fell pregnant with our first child. So after my maternity leave, The first moment I stepped into the classroom, I knew this is not for me. Something has changed, something has shifted, but I couldn't place my finger on it. And from there on, I went on this journey of seeking. There must be more, there must be more, because I felt so empty on the inside. And if you look at me on the outside, you couldn't believe it, because why are you so sad? You have a husband, you have a job, you have a child. You actually have nothing to complain about. But I knew that that is not the place for me. So I finally prayed about it, and the Lord showed me a total different picture of what He has planned for me. And it was initially image consulting. So then I started knocking on all the different doors. At this academy, at that academy, where can I get more training? Where can I upskill myself to move into that industry? Because it's a 360 degree from what I've been busy with for the past 6 years. So that went on for 4 years. And in that 4 years, I knew that I'm not going to be able to create a flowing income, see income from the beginning. So in my mind, I tried to get other ways and plans how to create that income. For instance, at that stage, I had a plan to have a boutique. So I would import clothes from, was it China or somewhere? So I had to plan 3 months before. I ordered the stuff, they would come. And then some on my Facebook page, I will just post this item, that item, and this is the price of whatever. So that went on for 2 to 3 years while I was a teacher. But that baby just didn't get off the ground. It was not able to grow. And if I look back now, I realized that was not part of my journey. But I had to go through that to realize that, to say, okay, you know what? I've tried this, but it's not for me. So 2019, I packed up all those stuff that I had, and I put it in 2 big plastic bags, and I told my nanny, please just go and sell this. I'm going to cut my losses, and I'm going to move on. And at that same time, I gave that dream of mine of being an image consultant, I gave it back to the Lord, and I said, okay, Father, you've created me. You know exactly where I must be. So please just show me step by step. And if it is to stay at the school and actually invest in the children and in the mothers and in the teachers around me, then that's fine with me. I'm going to make peace with that. And it's amazing the relief when you actually just let it go, because He knows. He sees the whole picture. And you can only see this small piece. So when I just let it go, from there on, step by step, He showed me but then you must remember 2016, I already started with training. So I went from the first academy to the second academy, and then a third academy, because I wanted to get so much knowledge, being the best consultant and helping each and every person that enters into my door. So at that stage, I realized that, okay, so I can help ladies with their image, but it's more about identity. Because in those 3-4 years, the Lord showed me first who I am in Him. And in that, He could have moved me into, okay, so now I can use you, because you know your true identity. And now I want to use you to show other people their true identity. Because what's the use if you look polished on the outside? You've got this perfect mask, but on the inside you are so broken and you are lost and you don't know who you are, where you are going. But we put up our mask and we just make it go, oh, everything is fine. But actually it's not. Yeah, so I had to go through that. It was hard. It was really hard because I couldn't see it. But if I look back now, I'm so grateful for those years.
Everything is a building block and everything is a puzzle piece. And most of those puzzle pieces normally comes with pain and uncomfortable and dis-ease because you're not in the right space yet, and you just know it's not a fit, and you need to those knocking on doors takes energy and focus and resilience, because the setback comes and then you need to choose another door or even try to crawl in through the window. But you're right. These days, it's so easy to cover up because of social media, because of cell phones with filters and all of that. We can literally sugarcoat ourselves to put it into the world and say, this is the perfect world. But in the inside, we're struggling and we're battling with stuff. Then you made the decision to start building, obviously, a business and a brand. And there's pros and cons to consider when you choose using your own name for your business brand. Tell me a little bit about how you came about that and the decisions you made there.
Okay, so from 2016, I started developing this business plan, this business idea. So I had all different names, yeah, one after the other, but nothing sticks. And 2019, in that year, my path crossed with Sharona D. She's she's my mentor, but I'm not sure what, she's a coach, business coach. Yeah, I think so. She's so much more than that, but yeah, let's say she's a business coach. She's from KwaZulu-Natal, and our life paths crossed. And I told her about this idea, this business, and she invested time in my business to help me, to guide me. And I said, well, at this stage, I'm still not going to use my own name, Nicqie, because it's strange, it's a different spelling. And from her side, she saw that my purpose is style, but strength as well, because I have a passion for fitness and for healthy lifestyles. So she gave me the advice to connect with a conditioning coach, that he will come in and he can work out a plan for a client for eating and fitness for training. But I'm the one, the accountable partner, just to keep her motivated and say, yes, go on. And then when she saw my name, she saw that there's two I's, Nicqie. So the two I's are the pillars of the strength that my business resembles. And then on top of my name, you will see there's a swan. It looks like a swan. What do you call a hanger? Hanger, right? Yeah. That represents two things. The first one is the swan. It represents my testimony of my identity through Christ. My whole life, I saw myself as an ugly duckling. I compared myself with every person that I've met, until the Lord showed me, no, but just look at this way. You're actually a swan. Yeah, it's amazing. And then the same side, the hanger, is for the clothing. So I connect with the women to say that I'm going to help you with your wardrobe, or oh, you've got a beautiful dress on, because we like to get compliments, and it's usually how we look. So if I can get it with that, and I tell her, I will help you with your wardrobe, and then we can move on into the identity. Yeah. So that's, I'm very grateful for Sharona.
That's quite a strong brand to have and to use all the symbolism around it. And I love the two pillars ideas. That's really nice. And it shows the strength in it, because the strength is not from us.
Yes.
So then, obviously, I suppose she helped you with setting out your services, or how did you plan out what are you going to offer to your clients?
The academy where I did my training, they give guidance as well. It's Image Innovators. So from their side, they recommend that you first start with one-on-one with your client. Color analysis, style analysis, and then if you are more confident and secure in you can do one-on-ones, then you can move into group sessions. So for me at the beginning, I was mostly focused on one-on-one sessions. But being in Kimberley, it was quite a struggle just to get my business out there. I also did public speaking. I was invited to 2 events to do that. And in the past, if someone invited me to speak, just to welcome, just do the welcomes, I would have cringed and I wouldn't be able to do it. But I'm so glad that the Lord showed me in that time. It's not about me. They're not going to come and look at me. It's what He wants to speak through me. So each one of my presentations is ending with a more spiritual vibe to it, if I can say that, because my identity and who I am in my business and who He is in my life is so entangled that I can't separate it. So yeah, that was the first idea to do one-on-ones. But 2020, lockdown came. And that was the same year that I actually took the leap of faith and just to say, okay, so I'm going to jump and I'm going to do this. 2020, I'm going to start Nicqie Identity Stylist. So I did it, and then came the lockdown. And although it's still very negative and it's so sad, and the pandemic all over the world, for my business, it was actually a good thing, because the academy where I did my training, they designed the tools online. So after that, I do not need to focus only on Kimberley or the Northern Cape. I can help any person anywhere in the world because I have the tools on my laptop online. And that was actually very nice, because then I decided to focus more on my marketing and just to move out of thinking of, okay, Kimberley is my target market.
Yeah. Yeah, the digital move was literally a game changer for a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses were caught flat-footed, but the ones who caught on quickly, new markets open. And I think being a new business in a smaller town, you need to establish a market. And once you set out, the first thing you see is, I thought the market is this big, but it's actually this big. So what to do next? But it's all about growth, business growth and marketing. And I think you did the right things there. Staying in the moment and getting what the world is offering you at that stage. But I know about the image consulting space since I was a student in the 80s. There were bigger names, doing that during the 80s. What is your perception of the industry in South Africa today? And what is your approach to be different than the rest?
So I have the same tools as all the other image consultants, but around every corner, it feels like there is an image consultant, not just from the academy where I did my training. There's a few other academies that gives more or less the same training, or also do color. Maybe they use different names, or they use a different system, but there are a lot of image consultants. If you just go and have a look, you will see it's actually being getting a bit saturated, I think. So for me, to distinguish my service and who I am and my business from the next one, is I decided, and that was also a decision that I prayed about, that I'm not going to market myself as an image consultant, although I have the same tools. I'm going to market myself as an identity stylist, because it's so critical for me to remain authentic. If you go and look on Instagram, a lot of the image consultants do more or less the same posts. They post about the trends and the that and the that. They all follow the same, more or less the same rhythm. But for me to distinguish myself, to say, okay, I'm an identity stylist. So yes, I'm going to tell you about the trends. I will tell you about color and style, but I'm going to tell you about your identity as well. I'm going to tell you about a healthy lifestyle. I can help you with a low self-esteem. If you struggle with comparing yourself to everyone else, if you feel like an ugly duckling, I can help you because I know how it feels. So yeah, That's my main aim with marketing. I'm not there to intimidate. I'm not there to show you what I bought. I'm there to help what your style is. Because you're not going to like my style, because my style and your style is going to be different. So I'm not really into posting the outfits of the day and I bought this and I wear that, and I'm not into that. I'm more into, okay, so this is in fashion. Do you like it or not? This is a style. Is it your style, personality or not? So more adding value to my followers rather than they're following me because they like me and they must comment. And yeah, I'm not. It's not about me. No.
Yeah. And it's not, you can so easily fall into the trap, specifically if you work in image consulting, that it's about the look and the, like I said earlier, the sugar coating and the likes and the following, and it's not supposed to be like that. For me, during lockdown, I went through the phase where I started changing my hair to the natural color and to go gray. And it was such a journey I made a little project of it. I watched YouTube videos on how to instantly go gray or change it over time, or how do you want to approach it. And I realized that I want to be as authentic as possibly can be in the world that I'm living in, to tell the world this is who I am. I don't want to cover up anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with coloring your hair. I've done it for years and years. But all of a sudden, I could have another approach to who I am and be authentic about it. And it was such a nice journey for me. Now, for me, if I go into a consulting session with you, I would obviously like you to consider this, because it's a kind of, there was a shift in my life considering going through, and we are moving through so many phases in life, from young to being a mom to where I am now. And it's what an amazing journey if someone can help you just to embrace every phase as this is the best you can be, and you must be, and show to the world. But I'm also curious about the international market. What trends do you see abroad that spills over here? Tell us about some nice, exciting stuff.
One of the most important stuff, I believe, it's very important, and I see it's moving over to South Africa, which is actually good. They call it slow fashion or sustainable fashion. So the fashion industry are not so quick on the cycle of creating and producing and selling and creating, because it's not that quick anymore. Some of the brands are taking a hold and say, wait, let's move into sustainable fashion, meaning that you work with what you have, you recycle, reproduce, recreate, and that is the most important thing for me in the fashion industry that needs to take place. Yeah. Because I believe in the past that that rat race of what is this trend, the next trend, and the next trend, it's moving so fast, and eventually the trends from the past are coming back. So it's repeating itself. So if you can just have sustainable fashion, and if you know what is your style's not going to change. Yeah. The trends are going to change. But if you know what your style, then you can remain in that. And you do not have to, you do not need to have the newest trends and the best trends, because if it's not your style, just move past that. So that is one of the biggest things. And in South Africa, there's a few brands that I've written down. Compass, written agterstevoren, what do you call that? Reverse is Sap.
Oh, all right.
Sapmok. They are a brand in South Africa. They are creating velskoene or leather shoes, which is actually so nice because it's more of a sustainable fashion. It's not that it's not made of a material that's gonna break tomorrow and you won't be able to wear it anymore. it's more sustainable. Then you have me and B, and then there's the changing room that is also pre-owned clothing. So it's a store that has pre-owned clothing. So you can bring yours and then you can buy someone else's. Yeah. And I love that concept as well. And if you have a look on Instagram or Facebook, there's a lot of small businesses starting with that concept as well. They ask, if you have any clothes that you want to sell, please send it to me. I will buy it. And then they post the products or the items on their page. So then someone else can buy it again. Rather than it hangs in your closet, you don't want to wear it anymore, but you feel too sentimental to throw it away. Or you feel like you paid so much for this jacket. I don't wear it anymore, but I don't want to just give it away. So then you can actually contact someone that has a business for pre-owned clothing, and you can sell it by them. You actually make money, and you can go and buy some other stuff. Yeah.
I love that idea. That's just amazing.
And it's necessary for warming and all that, the environment. We need to put a halt in all the
manufacturing. They talk about disposable fashion and disposable interior design. So you buy this vase today and tomorrow you can dispose of it because there will be a new vase or a new jacket or whatever. I've seen photos online of like mountains of clothes just dumped, and now they need to work through it and get the coloring out of it and try to repurpose the fabric and all of that. I think we literally overproduce. If we're not going to recycle and upcycle, we are running into trouble already. So I like that idea, and those are good brands to follow. So we will post the details below the video as well. So who are the leaders or your icons in the industry?
Okay, so the academy where I did my training, there is a lot of image consultants that is, they are top. In Australia, the academy is actually from Australia, and there is Anne Rayton, and there's a few other consultants that is in the industry, and they are also the ones that developed the tools to be online, and they are constantly creating webinars and more information for the rest of the consultants, because I'm part of that academy sisterhood for South Africa, but it's all around the world. And it's amazing just to get that input and to get that knowledge from that lady that is so skilled and working with such a high class. And in South Africa, the two main consultants is Runel Leroux and Kyla. And those two ladies are also, they are amazing. Whenever I struggle with anything, because you cannot put a client in a specific box. So there's frameworks that you can give the client, but sometimes that client is between two frames. So which frame are you going to give? And whenever I struggle, their doors are open, so I can contact them anytime. They are lovely people. And even on the sisterhood group, we have a WhatsApp group. There's about 40 to 50 people. There are men as well in this group. And whenever you struggle or you need a brand or you need a photographer in this specific area or you need just some advice, you can post and you can ask on that group. And the people are going to help you and they're going to give their advice without even thinking two ways about it. But what I do want to mention, that I've, in the previous question, I said that I'm an image consultant, but I market myself as an identity stylist. But with all due respect, image consultants, especially those that is in my training academy, they are also phenomenal. And it doesn't mean that if someone promotes them as an image consultant that they do not believe in the identity and they are
Yeah.
only about the appearance. That is just something that I knew I had to do to distinguish myself.
Okay, so that's your kind of niche market that you aim for, or where you want to start. Obviously, the goal is the same. You set out to reframe everything, but you must start with the psyche and the spiritual side of the human being before it will change to the outside. So I understand what your approach is, absolutely. Nicqie, and so everything started building up since 2016, and then there was this major event happening in 2020. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Okay, so 2020, when I started my business, in that same year, SARIE Voorbladgesig, the entries were open. And my friend, being the sweetheart that she is, said to me, 5 years going. You must enter, you must enter, you must enter. So 2020, I thought, okay, maybe I will enter, but I'm not going to enter to see it as a competition. Because on the front page of SARIE, there's a hashtag, jy is genoeg, you are enough. And for a magazine, a fashion magazine filled with models and celebrities, for a magazine to tell a plain Jane who's at her home reading this magazine, to tell her, you are enough. So don't compare yourself with the models and with the celebrities. You are enough just like you are. That was amazing for me, because that is the same message that I want to bring across with my clients. You don't actually need to look a certain way or be a certain size. You are enough just the way you are. So then I got into the competition with a video that said, you are enough. So wherever you are, with all your goals and your ideas and your plans, you are enough just the way you are. So I did an entry and I posted the video. And then, yeah, I think it was a month or 2 or 3, I'm not sure what was the time span. But then SARIE contacted me and said I wanted to do a Zoom. So initially my thoughts were, oh, I've tagged them too much. They're going to tell me that I must remove the tags, or the video quality is not good or something. And then it broke the news to me that I'm part of the top 40. And I'm like, what? How is that possible? Because there's about 6,000 ladies that enter. And the photo that I've sent in was some plain hair, plain makeup, my grey jersey. It was actually in the winter that I did the entry. In my studio, I took the selfie, so it wasn't even a professional photo. There is no way that photo could stand out, because how the elimination works, they pack out all the photos that are entered. And then each one of them, I think it's a panel of, I think it's 4 to 5 people. I'm not sure, but there is a panel that choose, so it's not just one person. And then they choose the top 40. And then they come together, and then they said, okay, this is my top 40, this is my top 40. So then they put their photos together, and then they say, okay, so this is overall the top 40. And so the fact that photo stood out and made the top 40 was just the grace of God. I truly believe it. But after the top 40, it went through to the top 10. So I was like, what? So they invited me for the photo shoot. So they flew, all expenses paid, flew me to Cape Town. I did the photo shoot. It was amazing. And for just experiencing that, it felt like I've already won. It was amazing to meet each and every person behind the name, and just to realize that they are just people. They are so nice. They are so friendly. And I believe because the whole atmosphere was so relaxed, I was relaxed in front of the camera. So while they took photos of me, the music played, and we had chats and we laughed. And so it was actually so nice. And I truly believe that because of that, the photos came out so beautifully. So then in December, they invited the top 10 again for the reveal. So that morning, I met one of the other contestants, and I told my husband she is ticking all of the boxes. She's got the front page because she told me that she already packed a bag. She's going from Cape Town to Joburg. She's got this plans and that plans, and so yeah, in my mind it was made up. You actually know your interviews are booked. It's you are the front page winner. So for me, it was actually just to go and just to enjoy it and to connect and have a relationship and a connection with all of the different people that are going to be there. So when they did the announcement and I saw my photo and they mentioned my name, I was just like, what must I do now? Because I didn't live it. What must I do now? And they were like, you must go front and to the front. So, yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, yes. I'm so thankful for that.
Surreal. So to our English listeners who doesn't know the Afrikaans magazine so well, SARIE is obviously one of those iconic brands in the Afrikaans magazine industry. So go out and check out their product. One of my icons obviously is Michelle from Van Breda, the chief editor. She's such a stylish woman to look up to, and she's been in the position for years now. So I think she is part of the brand already as well. It must have been like walking on a cloud to go and receive your prize. So what did you win?
Well, apart from that, the all expenses paid trips and the photo shoot and the exposure on the front page and the article inside and being able to tell my story. That was a big win for me because through that story, someone else's life is inspired. And I received so many messages from ladies all over South Africa saying, thank you so much for sharing your story. It meant so much to me. It inspired me. And that was amazing. But I won 10,000 from Afrikaans.com. So it was a cash prize, 10,000. And then I had an opportunity to tell SARIE what they actually can help me with. So there was no expectations from them. Someone asked me, did you need to do charity work?
No, not like that.
Well, I didn't just say nothing. But so I asked them if I'm able to have one page in every edition. And then they said, yes, we will do that for you. So I had to arrange with photographers and the outfits. So we did a one item, 3 looks, because I'm so focused on more sustainable fashion that you can mix and match rather than just having outfits in your wardrobe. You can mix and match. So I wanted to inspire the reader to do that. So they gave me that. And then Isaac Karstens, they are also part of the sponsor. They gave me an opportunity for once a month to come for treatment, for a facial or a body massage or whatever. But because I live in Kimberley and their salon is in Stellenbosch, I did one trip in March, and then they had a proper
spoil.
proper spoil for the whole morning, and that was just amazing. That was very nice. And apart from that exposure, there was also other doors that opened up. Brands that contacted me and wanted to do a product review. They wanted me to be part of a collaboration, which is amazing because that exposure for my business, that SARIE gave like this for me. I would have maybe, yes, I had to build to get that exposure. for now, whenever I enter a room or I hear people say, okay, this Nicqie, or okay, who's Nicqie? Oh, the one on the cover page with the funky hair.
Wow, so you are a local celebrity now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is such an opportunity, hey? Okay, so again, the timing was perfect. You had a brand, and now this thing happened, and you could get your exposure. You have upskilled yourself since 2016 to be an image consultant, but now the business must start growing, and you obviously need to look into the business side of it. Are you using a business strategy at all?
I'm using quite a few. I'm calling it trial and error.
Well, I think that is what strategy is all about. Shift gears and change direction.
Yes. In 2019, apart from my consulting packages for one-on-one, I also formed part of a corporate company. We were three ladies that did more of a corporate image. And although after the first event we unraveled again and each one went on their own, it was actually good exposure for me to realize I can actually do this. I can take the leap of faith and I can just start my business. So 2020, I quit my job as a teacher. I started my business and I had my packages in place. But I knew that I do not want to focus on the corporate because the corporate is more of the musts and the must-nots and the guidelines from the company. I want to actually connect with the identity and with the low self-esteem of that line.
Yeah.
And with my tools being online, I created the online packages. But as the time progressed, I realized that the services, especially the full packages that I offer, is quite expensive because I need to buy the tools to sell the tools again. So for me, if I can just sell my service and take out the tools, then I can lower my price. And I do not need to ask so high price because not everyone can afford that. And from the beginning, my heart was everyone, my target market is ladies. So every lady must be able to know what is her color, what suits her body. And even if she has to save up for 3 months just to consult, to contact me to get a consultation, even if it's just for the 300 rand, she also must be able to use the information, and know what the colors, because if you know it, then you are set for life. So it's like an investment that you make. So I do have the full packages still for the ladies that wants to do that investment and that can do that investment, but I have lower cost packages as well for a lady that actually just wants to know what hairstyle is going to suit me. So for her, I have created a service, half an hour for 300 rand. We're going to talk only hairstyle, and that's that. Or if you have a question on what dresses must I wear, because I'm having maybe a wedding and I'm not sure what style to wear. For that question, we're only going to focus on that question. So I have a few different services for different income groups. And what I also started doing was workshops.
Oh, that's nice.
So to actually travel in and around South Africa, there's a minimum of 20 that needs to attend a workshop. And I have a specific fee per person, but any host can contact me and they can arrange the workshop. They can add their own value, own amount to cover their expenses. But I'm going to come in and my travel and traveling fees are included into that price. And I like that because it's one thing to do it online, but it's a total different thing to meet the person physically, and I love
I
that.
agree. I agree. We all crave that personal approach, look in the eye, touch and feel. So to put it out there, say for instance, I have a coffee shop and I've got a nice private space where I can have such an event. I can contact you and say, okay, I'm going to get 20 people together. Can you be with us in Pretoria or in Durban or wherever? And then we can set up. That's quite a nice event to put together. I think we after lockdown, we ladies need something like that.
Oh, and I love it. Yeah, I love it. At this stage, I'm focused on the color. So your color, the session consists of, the workshop consists of 3 sessions. The first is the color. So I do your color analysis beforehand with my tools. So when you come and sit, you can see, okay, this is my color group. And then I tell just all about color, and then I move from group to group and I answer all your questions. Then we do your style personality. There's a style personality quiz because there's seven style personalities, but you are a combination between 2. So there's 49 style personalities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you think someone that doesn't have style according to you, she has style, it's just not your style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also nice just for the ladies to have peace with, okay, you know what? I like this bohemian, flowy, and florally. There's nothing wrong with me. It's my style. It's maybe not what's in fashion, but it's my style, and I feel comfortable with that. Yeah. And then the third session is we move more into the identity and more style your season, because each one of us is in a different season. And for that specific season, you can dress accordingly. For instance, maybe you're in a season to grow spiritually. So then you start wearing green. And whenever you put on a green blazer, you remind yourself of in a spiritual growth. This is spiritual growth.
Yeah.
And so I tell a bit more of my testimony and of all the elements that the Holy Spirit showed me. For instance, way back when I was comparing myself to everyone else, and he showed me that I'm a swan. I went to Lovisa and I got this long red swan earrings. And for me, wearing that, it was quite out of my comfort, but I had to, because it was like a declaration, and I'm making in a physical, that I declare that I am his, and he made me this way. So yeah, when I entered the room, the first person that saw me said, you've got interesting earrings. And it felt like, I'm going to take it off. But
Conversation point, yeah.
He told me, you're not going to take it off, because he gives you a promise, and he doesn't give the other person the faith to believe that promise.
Yeah.
But you are not allowed to take it off and not believe it, because that promise is from me. Yeah, so I shared that a bit. And of all the 3 sessions, the last part is the best, because I get so many testimonies from that session.
Because we're all spiritual beings, and we, I think specifically women doesn't have all the time in the world to sit down and go inwards and focus on what do I really need and what do I crave currently in my life, and there you can have the opportunity to establish that. Okay, so you've set up your your packages, you have several strategies going on, and which marketing channels do you prefer to use?
Social media.
And which ones is your favorite?
Instagram. I love Instagram.
Yeah.
But that Facebook, and then I started YouTube. But my YouTube is so small, you can't even search me. So yeah, because I like to add value to my
audience.
Social, to my audience. So I plan, especially next year, I plan to create more videos on how to dress and how to wear and how to what, all that questions. And up to now, I've done it on Instagram, but I do realize that not everyone watch the whole video on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I created the YouTube page. So I'm gonna market that video. I'm gonna post the video on YouTube, but I'm gonna market it on Instagram and then refer them. That those that want to watch, they can go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I really want to add value to my audience. I don't want them only to give to me or to add the following and the likes and stuff. I actually want to educate you for free without you even having to pay me 1 cent. I will answer the question. The question that you have, most probably the next person is also wondering about that. So your LinkedIn, I also started, I think it was a few weeks ago. I realized that, okay, so there's a different audience. And although I know my main focus on not corporate image, I can infiltrate that section as well. So yeah, I'm also doing their posts, and so but that's about it. Social media.
Yeah, and there's a nice link for me between Instagram and YouTube. YouTube offers you a longer version of video that people are willing to watch. I'm a huge YouTuber, and my phone goes with me when I do the washing or the dishes. And I'm not necessarily watching everything, although your product can be quite visual, but I'm listening to a podcast or a news or whatever. So, yeah, Instagram is literally what it is. It's instant. People just need to see that image, and then it takes them through. So you've got a very good approach there. Nicqie, what's the struggles the business struggles you had up till now? What are the aspects of business that you really need to build a little bit on or know a little bit more of?
The financial part.
Always. Always.
So it was quite a struggle for me to price my services and to say, this is my price and this is my price. SARIE, the exposure from SARIE helped with that, because people are actually willing to pay for me to come and speak. But there are still some expectations that I'm going to do it for free, and I'm just going to rock up there, and I'm going to do the welcoming, and then I'm going to drive 2 hours back again. But yeah, luckily my husband is a businessman in bone and marrow. So he usually asks me, how's the finances? How is it making sense for the business? So yeah, I'm thankful for him. Otherwise, I would have burned myself out. Because I have a giving heart. So I want to give, and I want to be there, and I want to, and I like to meet new people. So it's hard for me to say, no, I cannot do it for free. This is my price. But yeah, financially, meaning to create a consistent income every month. Because if I do not do the marketing, there's not going to be a client. There's not going to be someone that's interested in my service. So I have to constantly think about, okay, what am I creating? What content? And at the end of this year, I'm quite a bit flat on ideas, because I'm actually now focusing on next year. So if you go look on my social pages now, you're not going to find anything that's quite interesting, because I'm busy planning for next year. But in normal circumstances or previous in this year, I was 2 weeks ahead of plan. So I already knew the morning when I woke up, this is what I'm going to post, this is what I'm going to market, this is the product, this is the way I'm going to do it. So that was actually nice. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, you always, as an entrepreneur, you're always obviously executing in the now, but you're living in the future. So you're planning the next month, although you're executing this month. So you're physically showing up for the talk or the consulting service, but next month is always brewing in the back of your head, because you need to be ahead. I always think about the publishing industry like SARIE. They plan ahead 3 months or 4 months. So they already know what's happening next year, February in SARIE, but we are only reading it today. So it's that cycle to create and keep going. That it can be exhausting, specifically this time of the year, that you just want to switch off and regroup a little bit. So you've got small children. How do you juggle entrepreneurship, being a businesswoman with family life?
And my office is at my home now. So that at the beginning was a struggle. But yeah, in the morning, I'm solely focused on my business. And then in the afternoons, I know that about 3 or at 4 o'clock, depending on what activities they have, because I'm a taxi mom as well, ne?
Big part of the day.
Then I know I'm going to close my office doors and I'm just going to play with them. Because there's always going to be something that I need to do. At the cover, at the screen of my phone, I have a list because I'm a list person. A lot of lists. So there's a sticky note that's there. And whenever I know I'm not going to finish this today, I just write it up there. And then tomorrow I'm just going to do it. It's a long list. But there's always going to be something more that I can do because I'm so creative. And I'm always thinking, I'm trying to think out of the box. How can I create an interesting video or an interesting photo? And I'm always thinking about that, but I need to have this time to say, you know what? It's the afternoon. I'm going to close the door. I'm a mommy now. Yeah.
Yeah, and to take away the screens, because the screens just invade us day and night. And being in the creative mindset, you're always busy running things past, and then you're not focused. I once saw a video of a mom. Her little toddler was playing on the carpet and she was on a cell phone. And I counted the toddler engaged with her for eye contact or acknowledging him for 28 times in a minute that she was on her phone.
So
and she missed it. So I think we are just, it's a crazy world and you need to manage that space very well. Okay, so... No, go ahead.
On that topic, especially being in this generation where we live, and with my heart that I want to help other people, but what is the use if I go and save the world and the next generation in my house is missing out? So yeah, those two are the most important people after my husband in my life, because I know that's what I'm investing in them today.
Yeah.
Will reap tomorrow. So I need to invest in them. So yeah.
Sure thing. So I want to know, if you can open another business today, what will it be?
I would like to create a space where different businesses can have their trading, but it's in one space, because Kimberly doesn't have something beautiful. Mooi. I like beautiful, ne? And here's few quite coffee shops that's quite nice. But in my mind, I've got this idea that when you enter into this space, there's going to be different hair salon, nails, facials, but in the middle is going to be a garden, and there's going to be a tea garden and a coffee shop and one. I don't want to have the coffee shop and the hair salon. I just want space where my office can be as well. But yeah, that is my idea.
That's an interesting model you can set up. So it's like a creative hub where people can just maybe go and sit and work as well, like in a nursery or something like that, having coffee served. That's quite a good idea. You must look out for it and try to pursue it.
Yeah, I'm praying about it.
always for the next step. You've mentioned, at the end of the final part of your session is focusing more on the spiritual part of the woman. Tell us about some success stories that you had, specific customers?
I had this one client. She lives in Namibia, and we actually did just a style consultation. That is what's so amazing. How the Lord He just works with them. If I'm not doing that specific session, He connects with them on His special way. So we did a style consultation, and by following me, she knew that I'm a child of God. So she was more open to testify and to tell me about it. So afterwards, she phoned me and she said, Nicqie, you will not believe. When I was young, I had a crush on this other boy, and the boy told me that you have ugly legs. So from then, I made a decision that I'm never going to show my calves. So she always wore long dresses, long pants. She didn't show her calves. And after the style consultation, you included one of the tools that is included is a My Private Stylist program. So the client can have a look what hemlines, what dresses, shoes, tops, bottoms, all of those different items, what suits your body. And on that program, she saw that she actually can show her calves. So she doesn't have to have only the long dresses there by the ankle. She can actually lift the hemline. And she sent me a photo, and she's got the most beautiful calves. And it's like insane for how long? And I think she's in her 40s. For her whole life, she believed that lie. But that moment, it was so liberating and freeing for her. So yeah, that was just, you see.
so many wasted years believing nonsense about ourselves.
That is the thing that I see, that most of us believe the lies. We've got this labels around our neck that someone told you that you are this or that, or you look like this, or you must behave like that, or don't be so loud, don't laugh so much, don't talk so much, or you have this, and it's keeping you back. It's keeping you off captive.
Yeah.
And just by releasing it and just allowing to see, but it's fine. I am a quirky person. I like to laugh. I like to speak. Just to be yourself.
Yeah, amazing. So we obviously set out to impact people's lives, but sometimes our customers impact our lives as well. Do you have a story of someone's story impacting your life?
Yeah. What I do want to tell on this question is me being a customer of the specific Bali trading store. It's in Riversdale, and I ordered online the most beautiful cement pots. It's like this. It's like a half body, yeah, from your breast down to your head. So it's a big pot, but it's made of, I think it's cement or clay or something. And the head is open, so you can put in a pot plant. Okay, so I ordered this online, and when the courier came, it was broken. And I'm like, no. And I contacted them and I said, it's broken. They said, don't worry, we're going to send you another one. I said, okay, but must I send this one? I said, no, keep it. We will send you another one. Within 3 days, they sent me a new one. And when that one arrived, that one was broken as well. And now I'm like, am I going to contact them again? Am I just going to leave it? So I did contact them and I said, you must just make sure that a courier must bubble wrap it properly. But I do not expect another one. And he said, no, we're going to send you another one.
We'll try again.
In 3 days, they sent it to me, and that one came out perfect. But yeah, it was just amazing the customer service that I provided without even thinking 2 ways about it, and without even having me to explain too much. They just said, we will rephrase it again. So that was quite amazing.
Oh. That's a good story to hear about South African service, hey?
Yeah.
So your vision for your business, do you have dreams for your business? Where are you going?
I've got big dreams. I like to have a vision board, or I like to plan a vision board at the beginning of the year. And being quiet now and not having so much on my plate, I decided to actually think and plan in November and December for 2022. Because usually when I do my planning in January, I only actually start with that plans and the deadlines in February. And the year already started. So I'm busy with that. So I've got quite big plans and long-term plans. For instance, the space that I want to create with other businesses, and that's definitely on the planning. But then workshops, I want to do the workshops. I just need to set out the dates and the places, that which month I'm going to travel to what area. And then, yeah, just to remind to that what he says, because we can make plans and we can run this race, but if his baby is not on it, and if it's not his plan, what's the use? Yeah.
And haven't we all planned, and then 2020 happened, and we were told to rethink, regroup, sit down, go into your room, be still. And to me, that was an amazing exercise. I know there's a lot of losses, and I don't want to diminish that, but for me, that time just brought me down to focus, decide really what is important in life, on every level: food, health, clothes, when you sleep, what you read, what you consume online. Everything was just rethink. Think about this stuff more often. Don't just paddle ahead and think you have it all together. Nicqie, I want to shift into our personal questions section. Tell us about some books or films that you recommend and why.
Okay, so the book that I would recommend is The Richest Man That Ever Lived. Yeah, The Richest Man That Ever Lived, and it's Stephen Scott. Stephen Scott wrote Proverbs over, more practical. So it starts off with a story that said that this one guy, I'm not sure if it is he or is it his friend, but this guy had a struggle after struggle in life. So he decided, or someone told him, to read Proverbs every day for the month. And the next month to start again, because Proverbs have 31 verses. So there's one chapter. There's 31 chapters. So there's one chapter for every day. So he did that. And he actually implied and practically start living all those knowledge and the skills that Proverbs taught. And amazingly, he turned his life around. And there was so much favor and so much prosperity on his life because of that. So yeah, that's definitely a book I will recommend, because it's got different chapters on how to handle conflict, how to forgive, how to handle your finances. All those different, but all of the scriptures are in Proverbs, and all of the revelation is from Proverbs. So that is beautiful. Movies, I'm one of those people that struggle to sit through a movie. So either I fall asleep, or after the first half an hour, I see something that's offensive to me, and then I just move and I go and do something.
So you're not a big movie watcher.
I like the concept of watching a good movie, and if I think of The Shack, that was a great movie. So I like that type of movies, but I'm not into action or drama or comedy. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm also quite picky. You know, in the past you've watched so many Hollywood films, but these days I'm quite picky about how I spend my time. It's not always worth your while. Do you have a business icon? Someone you look up to?
Is for the image consulting is definitely Anne Rayton, the consultant from Australia. That she's the mastermind or the the brain behind Image Innovators that creates all the tools. And yeah, she's definitely someone that I look up to in the image industry, because she's just got so much knowledge and experience in that field, definitely.
And on social media, who do you follow? And are you a podcast listener? What can you recommend to us?
Okay. So social media, I see more like the community. So yeah, I'm more prone to follow people that follow me, or where we actually can have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not really behind having to follow certain celebrities, because I do believe that can get you a bit distracted and focused trying to, yeah. So I do have a few that I follow. Donna, is it Donna Kennedy that I follow? She's quite an inspiration. Nina Brown is an inspiration. Rita McPherson I also like, because she also puts up short videos that's more spiritual. But yeah, I do believe that whatever you allow yourself to look at, that sits into your heart, and you actually gonna digest it. So you need to be so careful at what do you watch. Even celebrities that do not want to offend, whenever you are not in a good space and you see that. And for instance, maybe I have the issue of my body. Now I see someone that's actually well toned and she's posing in a bikini. What's it going to do in my heart? I'm going to compare myself, and I'm going to feel not good enough. Yeah, so I'm very picky with that, and I really do try not to, what do you call it, to do the scrolling.
Oh yeah,
I use with my husband, because whenever he sees I'm on my phone, he's like, "Oh, and you're on Facebook again." I was like, it seems like I'm a lot on social media because I post, but I literally go on and I post and I go on. Because I do believe when you are too much focused on who's doing what and who's posting what and who's with it, you miss out on the life that's actually with you, the now, with my children. And yeah, so I really do try to limit my time on social media. But when I am there, I try also to compliment someone, or to say, "Oh, you are beautiful, you are cute, you are well done, what. Yeah, so I really try to do that as well, but not more of a who's doing what and who's wearing what. And
I've made up my mind to use it as for the tool it is. In my instance as well, I use it as a marketing tool. And if there's something that you need to comment on, you will be obviously polite and do that. But I can't do the scroll thing. It's just way too much energy and time that goes in there. And like you said, you start thinking about what they are doing instead of putting yourself out there or create something new with it. So we're going to post all your social links below the video as well, and people can go and check you out online. The last personal question is, what is your pet hate in life?
People that complain.
It's a hard life they live.
And just being ungrateful, Ned, that is this past year, the Lord spoke to me about complaining and being discontent. And it starts so easily. It's like before you know it, it's like, why am I complaining? Why am I so negative? Why am I so down? And then it's because I focus on the wrong stuff. Because I'm thinking about what I do not have, rather than just focusing on what I do have and who I am, and just to be grateful with your season where you're in. So yeah, I think because I went through that season of really being grateful and not focusing on what I do not have and what I cannot have and what. I'm more sensitive to people that complain. Yeah.
Not that there is not people who are really working through hard stuff, but I think we can so easily fall into that trap of this is not good enough, that is not good enough, although we are surrounded with so many blessings every day. Just to get up and have a cup of coffee and feel the sun and, yeah, the basic stuff. Okay,
But
I
there's
want...
someone that's actually going through a tough time and sharing that with you in comparison with someone that actually has nothing to complain about, but still choose to focus on that what she doesn't have. Yeah.
Yes, no, we must be grateful every day from the beginning till the end. I want us to finish with the rapid answer section of the interview. So I'm going to give you a concept or a word, and you can elaborate on it, or you can just only respond with one word back. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is online influencers.
Oh, it can be a good or a bad thing. Eh? Yeah. It's quite a, what do you call it? It's a big responsibility for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you need to choose wise. Don't post anything, don't say anything that you're not thinking twice about. Yeah.
Yeah. Influencing in real life is a responsibility anyway. Even more so online, I agree with you. Okay, next one, public speaking.
Oh, I love it.
But you've journeyed through it. You didn't.
Yes, yes,
You didn't show up and you were the best.
No. And even when I would go on stage, and I will start focusing on me, myself, and I, and the people came to listen to me and about me and how do I look. Then I'm like, oh no. But yeah, as soon as I just realized it's not about me, what you want to do to me, let your words, then it's easy there. So.
The next one is mindset.
Oh, positive. It needs to be positive. Yeah, definitely.
And if you fall into the trap of a little bit negativity, how do you get out of it?
Then I search my heart, because it happens to everyone, eh? But immediately, whenever I realize that I'm negative now, I'm complaining, I'm discontent, then I just sit down and I test my own heart and I check my motives and I really allow the Holy Spirit to show me what is in my heart. And even whenever I'm in a conflict situation or when I'm in a bad space with someone, and I pray about the person and I think, oh, but this person did that and he said that and what. In that time, the Holy Spirit usually shows me in my heart with what I did wrong. And then I just need to report to okay. So it's not just them, it's my fault as well.
Yeah, it's always two sides to the story. Okay, a family.
Oh, the most precious relationships ever. Yeah.
Yeah, so important. Especially going into the holidays now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, the next one I know is obviously your being, spirituality.
Oh, there's no word for that. No, that's it. Grateful. No.
No beginning and no end.
No, definitely.
And I always ask my guests about South Africa.
There is hope. I believe there is hope. No.
And
Although
everybody says we can do it, but we need change.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Nicqie, I want to thank you for coming onto the Strategy Maker podcast. I can tell you that although it's on screens and online and I haven't met you in person yet, it shines through the screen. You are vibrant, you're positive, you have a glow to you. And I want to wish you all the best with your business. May it go from strength to strength. And may you wear the green jacket next year of business growth.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such an honor. It was nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
And we're going to share it all over our social platforms, and hopefully we will meet in person next year.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So I
Thank you
hope to
so
see you
much.
soon in Gauteng, hey?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Good luck and bye-bye.